Hello, my name is Martyna. I'm from Fundacja Persyentia Publica. I'm the Polish partner in Strong Together project. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, about my experience, about the education, about my everyday life, what I do, how I work, I can invite you to see the previous podcast where I introduce myself very clearly, so you could better know who is talking to you right now, and why I really talk to you about this topic we are discussing today. As today, I would like to tell you a little bit about intergenerational education, about what we really do right now in this project, about what are the reasons the seniors can work with young volunteers, with adult educators, what are the benefits and how it really works. What are the benefits for our society, for us, I mean personal for us, not just for the whole group of people, but why it is important to work in such a group and to work with different mentors. So we know that education as older people just passing the knowledge to younger people. But maybe let's start in a different way. I can say education. I will give you a while to imagine something, just anything. Think about education. And what you can say? Probably a school, as I mentioned before, that older people spreading the knowledge, passing their knowledge to younger people. And so it can be at school, for example. It's the most common way you can imagine education. It's a formal way of education, but we can educate also in non-formal and informal way. These are also the ways we learn in everyday life. So, what are those kinds of education? We started from the formal education. Formal education is more about institutions. It's about school, it's about college, it's about certain places we can learn, we can get the knowledge, and of course we'll get a certificate, the declaration that we could gain those and those skills, we can learn this and that. So specific institutions with specific type of knowledge, specific type of skills, and we have the rights to do this and that after finishing formal education. It's something all of us really know. Then we have also non-formal education. About non-formal education is, for example, our extra courses. If we are not really good in math, in gardening, or we want to know more about gardening, can be just anything what we are interested in. We want to have a little bit more knowledge or a lot of more knowledge in a certain topic, and we can be taught in larger groups. We won't get any certificate. It's not an institution. It can be just an organization. It can be a specific place when we meet, for example, every Monday at 5. It is just an example, but it's non-formal education when we learn because we just want to. We want to develop ourselves, our skills. And we have also informal education. Informal education is our life, our everyday life. When we have interactions with others, when we can observe other people, what they do, we can observe our friends. If we are not into gardening, we can observe someone, what this person is doing, and we are learning by observing. Or we are discussing the newest technology with, for example, our friends, with younger people, with any people who are interested in the new technologies. And we learn because this person is talking to us. So it's about the experience, about the knowledge we share with each other. It's the education, the knowledge we gain in this informal way. Currently, when we have the migrations, when many people, many families live on their own, for example, where parents are going out or leaving the country with their children, they may not really keep in touch with grandparents. So it's kind of loose, not just about the family, it's about the loss of the knowledge. Because when we are not in touch in different generations, and when we are not in touch with different generations, we can lose some abilities, we can lose some knowledge. The knowledge just those people can give to us, because it's for example, it's just in our family, or it's the knowledge specific for a certain generation. And the same thing is from the other side. For example, seniors can't gain the knowledge they can gain from younger people. A perfect example, to be honest, I believe that real life examples are really good way to learn. But the best example of such kind of education, such kind of gaining knowledge, is my aunt, who was really afraid of using smartphones. But when her granddaughter was born, she learned using smartphones because this little child was just playing games. And she also started playing games, started sharing different photos. She started making photos because she wanted to have the photo of her granddaughter. And it was informal education. They were observing each other, and my aunt, she could see that this thing is something new. I can be afraid of that, but it makes fun. It is useful. So it's kind of knowledge and kind of skills, kind of abilities. That's something we can lose by not keeping in touch with different generations. So currently we can say that when we have the possibilities to visit different places, to change our workplaces, just to do anything, the intergenerational gap is growing, and it is growing rapidly. And we can define the generation gap as a deep, even cultural gap between two different generations. So it's intergenerational learning. It's about connecting people, it's about connecting generations. So yeah, we can say that IGL, so intergenerational learning, is about connecting, not just about learning, but it's about people, about what we can share with others, and what at the same time we can give to others. Because younger people can be mentors. At the other side, older people can be mentors. And in intergenerational learning, we can have this option, and have also the third option when both generations are learning from each other. So it's EGL when we have three of these options. So by intergenerational learning, want to achieve a certain aim. So we can reach those aims by relations, of course, and common support when we are with each other, when different generations are learning, are playing, are doing something together. They are developing themselves and they are developing each other. So it's improving the knowledge, the skills, and potentials of older and younger people. We can say that younger people are more up to date. They going with the world because they were born in certain world. For example, with technology, with smartphones, with their hands. Some elderly people may not be really in touch with such kind of technology. So younger people are in this moment creators, and elders might have problem to follow. They have also some limitations. They can be physical limitations, financial limitations. But elder people have experience. They have something that younger generations cannot reach just by themselves, because it's their word, technological word. But the previous word was and is something new, something they couldn't experience on their own. So elders can also be an inspiration for youngers. So populations are getting lower, both younger and older generations, because of different reasons. our society is also aging rapidly, so there won't be any exchange between these two generations. There will be still less and less younger people. We can also lose some information that younger people couldn't get in any other way than just by working or spending time with elderly people. So again, it's about common exchange of experience, and the loss of younger people, the loss of elderly people. So the passing of each generation is about loss. Not only it's not only economical problem, but it's also a social problem. It causes also such troubles like loneliness, depression, isolation. So it's also about the health of elderly people as well as younger people. And I would like to also tell you what are benefits for younger people and for seniors from such an intergenerational learning when different people can spend time together. So about benefits for youngs, we can tell about educational successes, about the increased interest in learning. Perfect example can be history. History can be boring for many youngs, for teenagers especially. But by spending some productive time with elderly people who might be fascinated, or with people who will be telling their own stories, so their own interpretation of certain times, of a certain era, certain part of a history, they can realize that it's not really that boring. It can be shared in a textbook in a boring way, but the history isn't boring. So we can develop here the successes for youngs. Then we have we can also change the attitude to aging. It will be my personal experience about changing my attitude to aging. At a certain moment of time, I was like aging is a little bit creepy. I can't imagine myself getting older. What will I be doing in the next years? What will happen? I don't know what my life can look like. But once, when waiting for my friends, I met one elder lady. She was calling, and when picking up the phone, she was talking about her day. She was talking probably with her friends. She was talking about her plans for the evening, about the theater, that she wants to see the theater. She's planning to do this and that she's going on a dinner with herself, just with herself. She was talking about some sport activities she's planning to do in the morning. And I was like, okay, but her life is at the moment more interesting than mine. And it's fascinating how she can afford it. Doesn't she have any other things to do? And she was waiting for someone's response, and then she was talking again. It was like she was reading my mind, but she was because she was started talking through her phone, and she said, if I wasn't retired, I wouldn't have time for these things. And it was like inspiration that maybe when the time changes, when the time comes, just anything, in the next years I'll be able to manage my own time in different way. I'll be able to do different things. I will find some time for doing amazing things I haven't even thought about before. And she was telling the whole story to her friend about things she wants to do, about plans, about new actions, about new actions she decided to join. She decided to do something she haven't tried before. And I don't know this lady, she doesn't know me, but because of this one speech, this one call, she became my inspiration. So I'm just waiting at the moment. Then we can also talk about emotions as another benefit for youngs. They can develop their emotions. They can observe how other people react for certain things that happen in their life, about the peace, about their reactions. So they can also understand the emotions and they can react properly. And another benefit we can talk about is communication. So younger people can better communicate. They can be more patient, they can be more understanding, just be working with others, seeing how other people work, what they do in everyday life, what time they need to react. So it's again learning through their experience, informal learning in this intergenerational education. We have also benefits for seniors, and of course the most important one will be health, not just physical health because of physical activities, engagement, but also about the limits in loneliness, so about mental health. But mental health is also discussed in one of our models. But yeah, we can limit the loneliness. So we can decrease the number of depression that can affect some elderly people, but not just elderly people, but also younger people. And it can also help to keep the brain more active. Seniors may also be more satisfied from life. Example, they can know more people, they can socialize, they can keep in touch, maybe engage in some new different activities just because they know someone who is doing this and that. So maybe they will find their new hobbies, so something they haven't really tried before, but it can become passion. And we are still about learning from each other, from different generations. So we can say that intergenerational learning is not just about education, but also about our personal feeling and about relation we can we can develop with other people. For intergenerational learning, everyone is a treasure. Everyone has different things, have different treasures to share with other people. We can think about history, we can think about tradition, we can think about art, science, education. Everyone has learned different history, different tradition, different art, because it changes in time. So we can through the intergenerational learning, younger people and elderly people may share the education, the science, the art they know from the times when they were the most active in a certain moment in their life. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope it was at least some kind of inspiration for you and you're interested in the topic. And I hope that this podcast encouraged you to take part in this project as well as to learn more in the topic we developed. Thank you again, and I invite you to listen to different podcasts as each podcast has different fascinating topics. Thank you again.